Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about loyalty, a concept as old as humanity itself, and one we probably value a lot. But while we do that, we'll look at the animal world, which we see as our closest friends, from a different angle. What is loyalty? A dog never leaving its owner's side, protecting them, recognizing them even after many years. When we see these behaviors, we immediately say how loyal they are, right? But what if this idea, loyalty, is actually a feeling created and given meaning by us, humans? Could the main things shaping animal behaviors be instincts, the fight for survival, looking for safety and learned habits? Maybe this deep connection we think they have is just a reflection of our own feelings. This idea could really shake up how we see our relationship with animals. Loving them, sharing life with them, is definitely very special. But expecting human-like loyalty from them might be unfair to both them and us. Because every living thing has its own nature, its own way of being. In this video, starting from this point, we'll look closely at 6 types of animals that are often thought of as pets or tried to be tamed, but no matter how much love they're raised with, they won't be loyal in the way we understand it, because of their nature. This journey might just make us see animals in a richer way and help us build a healthier, more real connection with them. If you're ready, let's put our expectations aside and take a trip into the amazing and wild nature of the animal kingdom. In this list, from cats to foxes, raccoons to parrots, we'll rethink the idea of loyalty and try to understand the world of these creatures on their own terms. This isn't just a list of animals, it's also a discovery about ourselves and nature. Shall we begin? We start our list with an animal that might surprise you the most, or maybe even make you disagree a little. Cats. These mysterious creatures that keep us company in millions of homes and warm our hearts with their purrs. Yes, cats show affection. They lie on our laps, they play games. But the reason behind their actions is quite different from the unconditional loyalty we see in dogs. Cats, by their nature, are very independent and free-spirited hunters. The relationship we have with them is less like a leader-follower relationship and more like a partnership based on mutual benefit. For them, we are not the leader of the pack, but rather a resource, a sort of roommate who provides a warm home, regular food, and a safe environment. Instead of seeing this as disloyalty, we need to understand their nature. A cat builds its bond with you based on the comfort and security you offer. If these conditions change or they find a better option, they are much more likely to leave you than a dog would be. Their affection is more in the moment. It depends on their current mood, attention, and needs. That's why earning a cat's affection requires constant effort. Understanding their language, respecting their boundaries, and not expecting a dog's loyalty from them is the key to the healthiest relationship you can build with them. They are not loyal, but rather companions who love on their own terms. Foxes, known for their cleverness in fairy tales and their elegance in nature. In recent years, with the growing interest in exotic animals, they've become one of the species people try to tame. It's a common mistake to think that a fox raised from a cub can turn into a cute dog. But the truth is far from this romantic picture. Foxes are creatures with deep wild instincts, shaped by thousands of years of evolution. Keeping them in an apartment doesn't get rid of these instincts. It just pushes them down. No matter how used to you they seem as cubs or how playful they are, that wild spirit inside them is always waiting for a spark. When they grow up, these hidden instincts often come out as actions that are hard to predict and control. Because of their hormones, they might start marking their territory, chewing and destroying things, and even become aggressive at the most unexpected times. The bond they form with you is more like a temporary truce than a pet-owner relationship. They might trust you and get used to you, but they'll never truly belong. At the slightest chance, they are very likely to follow nature's call and run away to be with their own kind. No matter how much love a fox is raised with, its spirit will always belong to the forest. With their cute masked faces and clever paws that look like human hands, raccoons are the stars of the cutest animal videos on the internet. The idea of keeping these smart and curious animals at home might seem appealing to many. But behind this appeal lies a reality that's almost impossible to deal with. Trying to tame raccoons is like pulling the pin on a bomb and waiting for it to explode. Their intelligence isn't for doing cute tricks, it's for opening locked cabinets, stealing food, and causing chaos in your home. Their curiosity constantly leads them to new adventures, which means new destruction. They might be gentle and loving as babies, but once they reach sexual maturity, their personalities do a complete flip. Especially during mating season, they become extremely aggressive, territorial, and defensive. They might no longer see you as a friend, but as a rival or a threat. Biting and scratching happen often during this time. For them, your home isn't a permanent place to live, but a temporary stop to explore and use up resources. Eventually, that strong desire for freedom will take over, and at the first chance, they'll want to go back to where they belong, nature. Raccoons are smart rascals that should be admired in nature, but not kept as pets at home. With their colorful feathers and ability to copy human voices, some birds, like parrots, are seen as a joy in our homes. The bond you make with them can be really special. Having a bird that says, "I love you," can make you feel a deep sense of love and connection. But here, we need to be careful about the idea of loyalty. Especially wild types of smart and social birds like parrots, they develop a kind of dependence on humans, rather than loyalty. These animals, who live in large groups in the wild, are social creatures. In a home, they put you, their owner, in place of their flock, and try to get all their social needs met through you. This might seem like a good connection at first, but it's actually an unhealthy dependence. These birds can get very stressed when left alone, pull out their own feathers, or get depressed. In a stressful or scary situation, they might even get aggressive towards you, the only one they trust. Their strong beaks can cause serious injuries. Also, their natural urge to escape is always there. An open window or door is an invitation to freedom for them, and that moment's fear or curiosity can override all their habits with you. Living with them isn't about keeping them captive. It's about taking on the responsibility of understanding their complex social needs. In this part of our list, we're looking at animals that are ancestors of the domestic dog, but have never lost their wild nature: wolves and jackals. The idea of taking a wolf pup and raising it like a dog might seem appealing to many adventurous souls. The thought that if I raise it with love, it will become a loyal friend is a common theme in movies and books. But real life is much tougher and more brutal than fiction. Wolves and jackals have incredibly strong pack instincts and a hierarchical structure that haven't changed for thousands of years. Bringing them into a human family can't erase this genetic programming. They might seem to obey you when they're pups, but this is because they accept their weaker position within the pack. As they grow stronger, their instincts whisper only one thing to them: test your place in the pack and try to take over leadership. This isn't a game or a show of affection with you. It's a real power struggle. They will start to test you as the alpha and challenge your rules. Their instinct to protect their territory is so strong that they might see a visitor or another animal as a serious threat and launch deadly attacks. Wolves and jackals are wild and free spirits that should be respected and admired from afar, but can never truly be a part of your home. We're ending our list with one of the hardest groups of animals to form an emotional bond with: reptiles. Animals like iguanas, large lizards, or snakes are fascinating and exotic pets for many people. Living with them needs a totally different kind of relationship than what we have with our furry friends. Reptiles don't form social bonds like mammals do. Their world is all about basic survival instincts: food, shelter, and the right temperature. As long as these basic needs are met, they usually act calm and gentle. But this calmness isn't a sign of love or loyalty. For them, you're not someone they love, but more like a machine that controls their environment. They put up with you as long as they don't see you as a threat. But a sudden move, a wrong touch, or a moment where they feel trapped can trigger their ancient defense instincts. In this case, they might bite without a second thought, whip their tails like a lash, or use other ways to defend themselves. Expecting a warm welcome, a comforting purr, or a loyal look from them is like trying to get water from a stone. The relationship you build with them is based on mutual respect and accepting their cold-blooded nature. And so we've reached the end of our journey through the animal kingdom, looking at it through the lens of loyalty. We saw that even cats, one of the most popular pets, don't quite fit that classic definition of loyal we use for dogs. And as for foxes, raccoons, wolves, and others, they're much further from that definition, living by the rules of their own wild nature. This doesn't make them bad or unloving. It just makes them different. Instead of putting human feelings and expectations on them, Accepting their unique nature allows us to build a much healthier and more honest relationship with them. Maybe the real question isn't what we expect from them, but what we can offer them. Sharing a life with animals isn't about expecting blind loyalty and obedience from them. It's about stepping into the world of a different species, trying to learn their language, respecting their boundaries, and finding a mutual harmony. There's beauty even in a cat's independence, a bird's search for freedom, or a reptile's distant demeanor. Seeing this beauty increases our empathy, understanding, and wisdom. They don't teach us loyalty, but perhaps something even more important: unconditional acceptance. So when we connect with an animal, we can try putting aside the word loyalty and replacing it with respect, understanding, and harmony. Because a true connection isn't built on expectations, but on accepting each other's existence as it is. This isn't just a lesson for our relationships with animals, but perhaps for our relationships with people too. The more we try to understand nature, the better we understand ourselves. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay with mind and love.